I asked everybody, if you're just joining us, I'm trying to bring it all the way back around so we all can be on the same page to understand the point that I'm illustrating from a business perspective. I asked the people, did Terence Buck Crawford say that he was his own boss? Did you hear it? People in the chat said yes. They heard Terence Buck Crawford say that in November on Instagram Live, November of 2022. Right? Right? Oh, there it is. Got him. I'm going to bring it back. Claude. I see you, Claude. Oh, okay. Everything Boxing. Salute. All right. Everything Boxing said he said it on my channel. Okay. So he said something on Everything Boxing channel. I don't know. What did he say again? Everything? Oh, he driving. Damn, Everything Boxing driving. I'm going to have to go back on that to see what he, because Everything Boxing just said, I've been driving, listening. He said it on my channel. I'm not sure if he's saying that he's his own boss on your channel, everything, or if he said something else. But the guy, Claude, said champ sides. Champ sides. So salute to Everything Boxing and salute to champ sides. Okay? Okay? He said something about champ sides. All right? I'm going to find that champ sides thing. But what it is, let me bring it back. I don't want to get distraction because it's all thought-provoking now. Y'all know what I do. Now, Terence Buck Crawford said he was his own boss. I asked y'all in the chat, do you remember that? On November of 2022 on his Instagram Live, you all said yes. Most of you said yes. Y'all remember that. I asked you all then, my next question, was Terence Buck Crawford being criticized on YouTube for saying he was his own boss? Most of you said yes, he was. I specifically asked, why was Terence Buck Crawford being criticized? I asked, why was he being criticized? And I heard about 5 or 6 really, really good answers, really, really good responses. But the one that caught my attention the most is the point that I was basically going to drive home. And I'm about to find it because a guy named Ray, Big Ray, that is, he said it, and I'm going to try to find it so I can repost that again because I want us to stay on that point for that reason. Okay, here we go. I found it. Bam. And this is one of the reasons why Terence Buck Crawford, one of the 5 or 6 reasons I saw in the chat of why Terence Buck Crawford was being criticized for saying he was his own boss. And it was because, thank you, Big Ray, you basically illustrated my point for me. Certain names didn't come up. Now, remember when Terence Buck Crawford said, people keep asking me, why didn't I fight or say I wanted to fight Virgil Ortiz? And why didn't I say I wanted to fight Jerron Boots Ennis? He said those names never came up. Right? Okay. Now, I asked you all, do you all recall Bill Haney saying he was his own boss, or Devin was his own boss, or they're their own bosses? And most of you said yes, right? Okay. Now, the second question that I have, since Big Ray said, Crawford said certain names didn't come up. Do y'all remember Bill Haney? I just asked this a few minutes ago. I'm asking again for the new viewers. Did y'all remember Bill Haney saying about fighting Shakur Stevenson? He said that Shakur's name didn't come up. They didn't bring his, quote unquote, they didn't bring his name to the table. Did any of y'all hear Bill Haney say that? Yes or no? I'm just asking a question. Just yes or no. Anybody can just comment in the chat. Yes or no? Did anyone hear Bill Haney say that? Okay, Big Ray says yes. Anybody else? Anyone else? Okay. Cash, I think Cash said yes. Joshua Rowley said yes. Okay. So, if Terence Crawford, and hey, and I was one of the ones that criticized Crawford. I said it earlier. I'll say it again. About him saying he is his own boss and Spence is not because he has representation, right? Okay. Now, he was being criticized because he said certain names didn't come up. Bill Haney said they're their own bosses, and he said Shakur Stevens' name never came up, or quote unquote his name didn't come to the table. Right? Okay. So the question becomes, why isn't certain people criticizing Bill Haney the same way Terence Crawford was being criticized? When Terence Crawford said he was his own boss, Terence Crawford was being criticized. And I was one of the ones that did it. And I gave you reasons why. It's already published on my channel. When he said he was his own boss. Right? Okay. Big Ray says because he said there were certain names that didn't come up, which is why people were criticizing. So my question is, why wasn't Bill Haney criticized since he's his own boss, since Devin is his own boss, since they're their own bosses, when he said Shakur Stevenson's name didn't come to the table? He never was. I didn't hear nobody criticize, and I'm not encouraging people to criticize him, not by any means. I'm trying to prove a point that we can't keep being biased. We can't keep being biased. This don't have nothing to do with other content creators. I'm talking about everybody, fans included. We can't be biased. That's facts. Because I keep hearing people say facts over feelings. I've heard that since I've been on YouTube for 6 months. Facts over feelings, facts over feelings, facts over feelings. But you know what I keep seeing though? Fighters over facts. I hear people say facts over feelings, but what I've been observing in 6 months is fighters over facts. So all the biasness must stop. I'm not encouraging people to criticize Bill Haney. My point is that the same energy that people gave, including myself, Terence Crawford, for saying he's his own boss, because there were names that he claimed didn't come up, it's the same thing that Bill Haney said when he said they're their own bosses, him and his son Devin, and he said Shakur's name didn't come to the table. That's facts. I'm not talking about, I see somebody saying biased channels. I'm not talking about content creators. This is not a controversial topic. This is very simple, ladies and gentlemen. Members of the jury, members of the Roll to Take film crew. The illustration that I'm presenting has nothing to do with content creators. Listen and hear me good. What I'm basically saying is when you are your own boss, you don't have to wait for a name to drop or come up. You know why? Because when the fighter has representation, all you got to do is this right here. Pick up that phone. You be the one as the manager or promoter or matchmaker to take the initiative to make the call. You ain't got to wait for the call when you're the boss. It's the same thing I said about Crawford. Crawford was being criticized. People were grinding him up. And it should be the same energy towards Bill Haney. Now, the reason why I'm saying that is because Shakur Stevenson called out Devin Haney. And months ago, he pressed Bill Haney. That young boy pressed him. This is not an inciting of a riot. This is facts. Young boy Shakur pressed Bill Haney on that video I saw a few days ago. He said, you were saying that there's a publicity stunt by me saying I want to fight Devin. We had conversations privately, Shakur said. I never went to the media and publicized it, but you did, Bill. And Bill Haney never rebutted that. That's facts. He never rebutted that. He said to Shakur, go talk to your people. He didn't say, I called Jay Prince. He didn't say, I'm planning on calling Jay Prince. See, it's different if Shakur Stevenson didn't have boxing representation. See, my point is not about whether it was a publicity stunt or not. That's not my point. It probably was a publicity stunt. That's not my point. My point is that when a fighter has boxing representation, they're very accessible. So the fighter shouldn't be told, yo, you go over there and you holler at your people. No, if I'm the boss, if I'm a manager, I'm a promoter, or I'm representing the fight, I'm calling the people for you. And Shakur Stevenson said, yo, we can go together. That's how business works over here. So we can't be biased now. It's not fighters over facts. And if it's facts over feelings, the feelings have to be exited out the back door and let the facts enter into the front door. Now, to my point that I made earlier, to the new audience. The Haneys knew when they signed on the dotted line on the 3-fight deal, they knew who the 3 fights were going to be against, and they knew how much money they were going to be paid for those 3 fights. And Vasily Lomachenko's name was in those 3 fights. That's a fact. That's how 3-fight deals work. I've said it on my channel. I said it when I linked up with Detail on Boxing and he asked me about it. And I'm saying it right now. Live and living color. So with that being said, the point that I'm bringing it up is because Shakur Stevenson himself said, so you're saying y'all can move Lomachenko out the way to fight me? He said that on either Everything Boxing's channel, H Boxing's channel, and Champ Size. There it is. Champ Size channel. It's one of them 3 channels. We said that it was Shakur Stevenson was FaceTiming him or something like that. And then Devin had came on later on. I just saw that video literally earlier this week, and I thought that was recent video because Shakur said publicity. He used the word publicity stunt. I thought that was recent, but to my understanding, it was months ago when I seen that. That was months ago. I didn't even know that. So that's why I'm bringing this up about there is no bias. And my 4th point, I didn't never hear nobody say, we want Shakur next. I'm going to get on the point whether I think he should fight, Devin should fight Shakur next or not. I'm going to get on that point. But I wanted to address the foundation of this first. I haven't heard Bill Haney say, we want Shakur Stevenson next. I didn't hear that. I was surprised because I didn't hear that. I've heard Bill Haney say a lot of things about Tank Davis before the Shakur Stevenson fight. A week before that fight, 2 weeks before that fight, he was saying a lot about Tank and Tank's mother as well. I've heard that. I've seen that. My point is, when it was time to say, the time to say that is, yo, even if you know the fight's not next, we want Shakur next. Because he called us out. It's no different than when Bill Haney was saying that Devin Haney was calling Lomachenko out. Remember that? Because I remember that a while ago. He kept saying, yo, we've been waiting all this time for you, Lomachenko. At the press conference, he said something about that. I could be, paraphrasing, but he was saying, we've been waiting for a long time, hunting you down basically for this fight with you, Lomachenko. That's what they said. Okay, well, Shakur said, I want Devin Haney next. Now, why am I bringing that up? Because Terence Crawford was criticized by me as well, that when he was in his hometown, He didn't say, when he was asked about who was next, he didn't say Spence. When Spence was in his hometown, he said Terence Crawford next. That's a fact. When Danny Garcia was in Philadelphia in his hometown and Keith Thurman jumped in the ring, he said Keith Thurman was next. And Shakur Stevenson was in his hometown in New Jersey last weekend at the Prudential Center, and he said, I want Devin Haney